mastermind group, and he called himself a functional medicine doctor, but the word chiropractor was in his title somewhere. It was a very long title. And I thought we were friends, 4 years I've known him, and we were in the same group, a business associate, and he heard me clearing my throat because I guess seniors clear their throat a lot. Ever since I turned 55, I was always coughing up this junk. And he says, I can help you with that. I says, no, everybody's tried. No, really, I could do it. I says, well, I've tried taking antihistamines. I've tried elevating myself when I sleep, some kind of allergy. He says, no, come to my office, $300. So he charged me full retail, of course. And even though I was a friend and a business associate, and I had to fly to San Rafael, which is near San Francisco. I don't know how he talked me into that, but he did. And when I got there, I left with a bunch of herbs and stuff, a big box full, and a $2,000 bill. And I had no idea that that was going to happen. And in the midst of this, because I've been seeing Dr. Pilecki for over 15 years, and I don't let anybody crack my neck or anything. And before I knew it, he was doing all this weird stuff to me, pushing down on my arm and having me hold something with the other hand, and then putting something else in my hand and pushing my arm down, and then pretending he's pushing my arm down, but he wasn't really pushing it down, and looking at the wall at all his hundreds of stuff, zinc and iodine and this and that, things I never even heard of. And I just said, what are you asking your spirit guide what to give me? And he laughed. He says, no, it's not like that. And I felt very uncomfortable. I felt intimidated, and I'm not a guy who intimidates easily. But I don't know why I let him continue. And next thing I know, he's got my neck, and before I could say anything, he goes, wacko. And, I said, ow. I didn't know you were going to do that. He says, well, So anyway, I get back with all this stuff, and I'm trying to follow this diet that he's given me, which is very, very restrictive. He says, he's got all my blood tests that I gave him, and he says, oh, well, you have kidney disease and you have heart problems. And not really. I had creatine in my kidneys once, and my blood pressure is like borderline. And he keeps telling me that I'm sick, and that I need all this stuff. And so the next day, I am flat on my back. I can't get up, I can't walk, I can't stand, and I'm literally disabled. I'm back in my wife's wheelchair, which had been like 3 years. And it was the weekend, I couldn't go see Dr. Pilecki, and I called him up and I said, what did you do to me? He says, no, don't let anybody touch you. And I said, well, who's gonna touch me? You're in San Francisco, I have to work. He says, no, just rest. He says, it was that slice of tomato that you ate that I told you not to eat. And he says, a slice of tomato is giving me sciatica pain at level 10. And that's when I says, this guy's wacko. And so I tried to bear it out. And then Monday came around and I went to go see Dr. Pilecki, the first time I ever went to see him in a wheelchair. And he says, what happened to you? And I was a little ashamed to tell him because I felt like I got conned, and I was a little embarrassed, but I told him because he was going to get it out of me anyway. And so he says, wow, this guy took you back to square one. We took 3 years to get you to this point. I don't know if well, we'll try, but I don't know if we're going to get you back. Hopefully you don't need surgery or anything like that. But the next day, I walked out of his office. I came in a wheelchair and I walked out on my feet, and the next day I felt great. And so I dodged a bullet. He says, wow, you're really, really lucky because you could have been on a surgeon's table.
Yeah. That would not have